Hey y'all. Okay, so today our topic and our activity is on journaling. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to do one activity per se, because with journaling there's so many options to the way that you can express yourself or put your words out onto the page. But I did want to kind of talk about a couple of like the mental health aspects of what journaling can provide for us. So Rochester Medical Center puts out some information, and I'm going to share their website in the comments and descriptions below. But they have a health encyclopedia, and one of the things that they say that the mental health portion of journaling is it help prioritizes problems and fears and concerns. So as I'm doing this, I want you all to know that I have like journals from all the years past, like some from even college, some from mostly college. I have some from recent years as well. I even have some smaller journals, and I'm going to talk about those a little bit later. But when addressing prioritizing fears and concerns, I gotta tell you, they work. And it's interesting to sometimes go back and look at your old journals as well, and to kind of see and look back and kind of think through some of the things that you may have been dealing with at that time that now just seems obsolete. But also how important that was in stages and steps to kind of think through things. Um, and I can just tell you, just from personal experience, that journaling has been a good thing for me as well. So the other thing that Rochester is saying is that it helps you track your symptoms. So oftentimes you might have like feelings of anxiety, and maybe you're not able to even understand where those feelings are coming from. And or maybe you're dealing with depression, maybe you're dealing with anger issues, like you don't even know why you're getting so angry. How does that all come about? And the beauty of journaling allows you to really track those symptoms and those triggers that maybe you would have never thought of before. It allows you to slow down your thought process a little bit. It allows you to kind of seed through things, and maybe it's just writing down possibilities to what might actually be causing these things. So oftentimes when I have clients that aren't able to work through those thoughts, or if they're not able to come to a realization, I'll really encourage them to sit down with a pen and paper and just plot out ideas. The great thing with journaling is it doesn't have to be um, anything concrete either. I think so many people get worried about like context and what they're writing, and also just like what is writing things properly as well. And it's really not about that, because the journal is not for anybody else. You don't have to worry about anybody else looking at this. This is for you. This is something that you can look at on a daily basis as well. It was so funny. I was even looking at a journal that I've been working on through this year, and I looked back at the last thing, and it said, "I just want a room and space to think and breathe," and I had headspace, like clearly right there, headspace. And it's so funny because I was just having this same feeling today, and I was able to kind of, wow, okay, maybe this is important that I sit down and actually do something about that. So I sat down and I did a little journaling right before I even started our vlog today, and just started to write down some of my thoughts and things that I needed to talk to myself about, and get through that process. So once again, it helps us track those symptoms and triggers that we might be having. The other thing that Rochester says that I agree with is that it gives you an opportunity for positive self-talk. And one of my favorite activities and kind of homework assignments that I like to give to others is to make sure that they write down things that they're thankful for. It's amazing the powerfulness of gratitude, and because it puts us back into a positive mindset, and allows us to give ourselves some positive self-talk on things that have been encouraging to us or things that are lifting us up. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm just going to give you maybe a few ideas on where to get started with a journal if this is something that you're interested in doing. First of all, like I said, things can come in all different shapes and forms. Some people like line journals. I like blank sheets of paper because I enjoy drawing as well. As I've said in some of my former blogs, is that or vlogs, I like to draw. I was a former art teacher, so I enjoy the idea that, you know, maybe I just don't feel like writing it out, and what I need to do is just instead draw a picture about it, and then maybe that will become something and that can result into something that's more written, that then maybe even can become verbalized as well. So this can be very innovative. It can be free flowing. So the other thing is that it can be handwritten. It can also be done on a computer. So I want you to kind of think about that. And I should have checked my battery before I start this, because I have the problem of always having 10% on my phone. But here we go. We're going to try to get through this within the 10%. I just noticed that I'm listening to jams too right now, and I want you all to know that I just found this on YouTube. It's called Chill Hip Hop, or Chill Hop, and it's really great music that is really good for journaling as well. It's very calming and soothing music, so it might be a good place to start when you're sitting down to do your journal. So the other thing that I was saying, you could do either handwritten or you could do it on a computer, and actually there's some apps out there that you could get on your phone. And the one app that I found that had the best reviews, and I'm not publicizing this or anything, but Day One Journal is one app that you could use, and it allows you to text things in or type things in, but then it also allows you to, if you want to pay for the extra cost, it allows you to do a drawing, or it actually does audio dictation as well. So that might be another option if you are into that. But the other things that you can think of is that you can make this private, or you can even blog about it if you really wanted to. So sometimes that can be helpful, but sometimes it can be good for you to have this just for yourself as well. So the next thing that I want to do is just kind of go through some ideas, things that you could do in order to get yourself started on your own journal. These are just suggestions. You don't have to do them, but it might be a good place to start. So one idea that I love is a top 10 list. And I got this journal from a friend, Miss Godot. He gave this to me for Christmas. I got it in a Christmas exchange from Miss Godot from my school that I'm currently working at. Shout out to Miss Godot. And it has some awesome top 10 lists. And like I said, gratitude is a huge one that I would encourage you to use. 1 through 10, name the top 10 things you're grateful for, and use that in your meditation, and use it in your just meditation, and use it on a regular basis. These ones are a little bit more fun because they kind of go back into childhood. So this one says top 10 time. Imagine your childhood bedroom. List 10 objects you remember from your room and describe what they meant to you. I love these things. This one says, list your favorite foods and drinks that your parents made. Go into as much details about each one as you can. So this is kind of going back to childhood and kind of your life. This one I really like. List the top 10 things that motivate you and got you excited. What did you do to get hyped for them? So this is a cool little book. It's called The Story of My Life, and it's just another little journaling tool that you can use as well. So that might be something you're interested in. And I looked back at one of my older journals. This one's all the way back at college, and I was still using the same method back then, which I'm excited that, you know, some things just never change. And for me, I wrote the top 10 things I love about myself. So once again, going back to that opportunity for positive self-talk, very important. And then 10 things I hope for in someone else. So at this time, I was thinking about relationships and what are my top 10 things. So that might be an option for you. Another idea is a lot of people like to do poetry. Just putting it out into a poem, or, you know, I think the great thing about poetry is that it doesn't have to always rhyme as well. It can just be maybe cognizant thoughts that are coming up for you. Maybe it's just a few words. Maybe you don't even know what the feelings or emotion is that you want to put out there, but you do just want to get something started. So maybe poetry is a good starting point for you, especially if you're into rhythm. Rhythm can be a very powerful thing. Like I said, I'm just listening to music right now, and the rhythm and the soothness of it. What's interesting is when I'm listening to the station, it's called Chill Hop again, and when I'm listening to it, it almost sounds like they put nature sounds in there, and they allow the music to go around the running water or fireworks shooting off in the sky, or like things breaking or birds chirping. So it's kind of cool to listen to this. It's called Chill Hop on YouTube. All right, so since I've mentioned poetry, I did find a poem that I wrote back in 2005. So I'm just going to go ahead and read it as an example of a journal that you might be able to put for yourself. So, every day new, I love the surprise. My heart is so full, my journey is on a rise. My circling is spiraling, my spiraling is up, and overfloweth is my cup. Tears of joy, I live for these times, where there is hope and peace in every day and rhymes. A country song, a simple beat, a beautiful picture of a much needed retreat. I pray that I have purpose, and of course you don't resist. You give me hope, and for this I shall exist. What I like about reading about this poem is the last vlog that I did. I went to the the Glassell School, and you all took a journey with me at the Glassell School, and we did this journey through the past, the present, and the future while we were walking the steps of that building. And this poem reminds me of that spiraling upward, and it's so funny how things that you learn from the past, once again, kind of continue into the future, and that you build upon those things. And what the metaphor is in this is that we're on this spiral where we sometimes come back to some of the things that we used to struggle with in the past, and sometimes we got to push through. We may see glimpses of some of those things that happened to us in the past, but we're still a spiral upward, and sometimes we can spiral down those spirals, but we can use the stair steps and continue to try to get ourselves moving in a upward direction. So I like the fact that I was able to kind of get a connection there with my last activity that I was doing. So that's pretty cool. All right. The other thing that I would like to encourage you to do is that you can create your own journals. So this was made easily from a box. It was just like a cardboard box, a cereal box. And we do these with our kids at our camp that we have over the summer. So I run a camp called This Side of the Rainbow, and it's for LGBT youth. And we make these books. So here's one that we did too. And so we make these books, and we allow the kids to have that opportunity to journal during the camp as well, because it's all about therapeutic values and trying to make sure the kids are thinking through things. So that might be another option for you and something that you would like to do. Finally, I want you to see how little journals can be as well. So this one, I started when I was in a very stressful time in my life. I was going to grad school at the same time as having a master, or trying to get my master's, while at the same time as running a full-time job. I was an art teacher. I was grading papers. I was running an after-school group. There was tons of things that were going on in my life, and so I needed to minimize everything. And I put it into a very small version, and I was looking around because I actually at that time had very small color pencils so that I could color these in. So I could fit all of this in my pocket, and that's a good tip, is to just have it readily available so that you can use it. So, you know, anyways, like, this is super small, super easy to carry around, and I love it. And that's the one that I still use today. The last thing that I'm going to share with you, which I got this idea from our art teacher at our school, Crystal Holness. She's amazing. And she gave me this list of words, and some days you just don't feel like writing or journaling or putting any kind of thoughts out there. Maybe you don't even feel like drawing, or you don't know what to draw about. What I like about this is that it's kind of your cheat sheet, you know? Like, okay, so one day I felt like, actually I did this today, the word was drain, and I drew a picture. I'll just show you the picture a little bit. I drew a picture about my head draining. Okay, so you know, you can go in all different directions, but what I like about this is that it gives you like an escape card. So, oh man, I need a journal today, but I just don't feel like thinking too hard, and this gives me something to look back into. So it's also a creative outlet too. So this is very innovative and allowing you to kind of think in a different way. So, and it also allows you to kind of think of it as a sketchbook as well. So if you're wanting to go like in a more artistic way with your journal, this might be an option for you. So putting a list of just random words. I mean, here are some of the words: poisonous, tranquil, roasted, spell, chicken, drooling. You know, some of them are kind of weird, but it allows you to think outside your box and maybe think in a different way. And maybe it's just about having a fun time and allowing yourself to get out of your head for a little bit rather than being too focused. So, the other thing that I wanted to talk about, and this was kind of cool, is that on NPR just a couple of days ago, I was listening to Houston Public Radio, and they're here in the state of Texas, handwriting is coming back as a curriculum in our elementary schools. And the reason for that is because of the development that actually writing something down can have for the brain. So it increases the brain's activities with fine motor skills, and it actually helps connect from the left and right hemispheres of the brain. So oftentimes, as you know, that there are different parts of the brain that help you regulate different parts of you. So some parts are a little bit more creative, some parts are more. Well, it happened, y'all. I lost power. I had to plug in. So sorry for the interruption, but we're back. If you want to know more, please go ahead and continue watching the live from earlier. You can get the recap on that. And what we were just talking about is I was listening to we're talking about journaling. And one thing that I was listening to on NPR the other day was that here in Houston and within the state of Texas, they're bringing writing back into the curriculum to actually do not calligraphy, but scripted writing. And so with that, the reasoning is that it is a way to connect the brain. It allows for a lot of really good development and allows a great stimulation within the brain for further development. And so here are some other reasons that it's great, is that it provides function of higher order skills and increased connections between the right and the left brain, which we were just getting into talking about, is, you know, it allows your brain to just be more functioning. So I know that I talked a little bit about doing an app on your phone, but actually putting stuff down onto a piece of paper or writing things through can be a little bit more effective. So this is just a continuation of what was just talked about, and I was getting to the very end of my vlog, and I'm sorry for the interruption with the phone. But I'm hoping that this was a good experience for you. I hope that you may start doing your own journaling practice and possibly go out and buy yourself a journal that works for you. And like I said, there's so many options out there and so many different ways that you could do this. I hope that you will like this video, subscribe, and continue watching and look for future live videos in the future. So I hope you're all having a great day, and I hope you enjoy the weekend, and talk to you later. Bye.